The Philippine Air Force currently obtains a sizable fleet of combat utility helicopters. These assets have seen combat through the years of service, wherein they saw action recently in the Battle of Marawi, which play a vital role in medical evacuation and delivering ammunition and supplies to the ground troops. Not to mention that they also sought operation in humanitarian assistance or disaster response. The combat utility helicopter fleet currently consists of different variants of Bell UH-1 Huey and the newer Bell 412 helicopters. The Philippine Air Force has been using the Bell UH-1 Huey for decades, traces itself back to the Vietnam War era, with the first units said to have entered service with the Philippine Air Force in 1967. More than 100 units arrived over the next for decades, mainly from a newer and improved UH-1H Huey. Despite having a large number delivered, the Philippine Air Force has less than 40 units in service by 2010. With the incurring service life of the UH-1 Huey helicopter, and the continuing need to improve its mobility capabilities, the Philippine Air Force raised the need to acquire another batch of combat utility helicopters to complement the existing fleet of Bell UH-1H Huey. For the Phase 3 program, they grant enough funds for 16 helicopters, enough to fill one squadron. As expected, the Department of National Defense designated the Combat Utility Helicopter Phase 3 to be a negotiated procurement rather than public bidding, and the Philippine Air Force recommended the deal to be awarded to Bell Helicopters, which offered a newer variant called the Bell 412 EPI. Compared to the Bell 412 EP, it has a more powerful engine, the latest avionics, and other safety features. In December 2017, the Department of National Defense and Bell Helicopters signed a contract of 12.1 billion pesos under a government-to-government deal with the Government of Canada through the Canadian Commercial Corporation, with the first deliveries expected by 2019 and contract completion by 2020. But several sectors within the Government of Canada questioned the sale of the helicopters to the Philippines, with concerns of using them in human rights abuse by the Philippine military, based on the perception of President Duterte's government on being a perennial human rights abuser. They threatened to stop deliveries should it be found that the Philippines used the helicopters for activities related to human rights abuse. The Government of Canada's remarks to the Philippines prompted President Duterte to cancel and restart the combat utility helicopter acquisition project. After almost a year of the selection process, the Philippine Air Force decided to go with the Sikorski S70I Black Hawk. After Sikorski, with the US government help, pushed the prices down, considering the original Black Hawk price was the most expensive among the offers, and from the first offered to sell only less than 16 units. Now Sikorski will supply 16 Black Hawks for the same budget. The original market price of US-made UH-60M Black Hawks would cost $20 million each, and even the Polish-built S70I will cost upward of $15 million. Based on information released, the Sikorski Black Hawk with 16 units offered to the Philippine Air Force has a contract price of $241.4 million. Even based on previous Black Hawk acquisition by other countries, $241.4 million isn't enough to allow for the procurement of 16 brand new Black Hawks, even the cheapest variant. This deal is a bargain for the Philippine Air Force. In March 2019, a contract was signed between the Department of National Defense and Sikorski Aircraft through their Polish subsidiary PZL Milik. The Sikorski 70i Black Hawk has the following characteristics: cabin armor for better protection, to sliding cargo doors with pop-out egress windows, crash-worthy pilot and co-pilot seats, to jettisonable cockpit doors, 3-point dual landing gear with the kneeling capability. It has an active vibration control system, wire strike protection system, transition equipment storage compartment, foldable tail pylon for shipping and storage, built-in work platforms, engine cowlings, and hydraulic deck. State-of-the-art mission systems provide unprecedented effectiveness and survivability. Radar warning receiver, automatic direction finder, missile warning system, 3-station crew, digital ICS, laser warning, intelligence broadcast receiver, and advanced data links. It has for landscape, multifunctional displays, and flyaway kit to provide immediate communication capability in remote locations. Fast rope insertion extraction system and rappel mission provisions. Cabin interior soundproofing panels with 13 troop seat provisions for 13 fully loaded troops. And integrated vehicle health management system provisions are the unified capability of systems to assess the current or future state of the member system health and integrate that picture of system health within a framework of available resources and operational demand. It has two engines with maximum continuous power output of 1,260 kilowatts. It has to crew, the pilot and co-pilot. Sikorski S70I Black Hawk adds capability advancement to better support the full range of combat utility mission sets, with maximum gross weight for greater mission payload capacity, main fuel tank capacity to 360 gallons for greater range, and with a maximum cruise speed of 361 kilometers per hour, a 195 nautical mile combat radius. The Sikorski S70I Black Hawk meets all Philippine Air Force requirements for the combat utility helicopter mission. On the 9th of November 2020, the first 5 units of S70I were delivered via the Antonov heavy aircraft to Clark Air Base, while the 6th arrived aboard a ship on the 27th of November, and it was expected the delivery of the remaining 10 units within the first quarter of 2021. The Sikorski combat utility helicopter will ensure the armed forces of the Philippines service members and civilians to have a way out and a ride home, and provide multi-mission support capability, answering the call in war, in peacetime, and in disaster and relief of humanitarian operations.